It's easy to feel guilty when you think that you need to be a super survivor or a super caregiver. But guess what? You're already super.
That quote comes from caregiver Jessica Walker, a regular cancer wellness contributor and today's guest.
How did the journey into the cancer caregiving community begin for you?
He had a major surgery that January called an esophagectomy to remove a majority of his esophagus and his stomach. It was a very intense surgery. And that was when I started seeking support through various avenues to figure out how I could support him in the way that I wanted to.
The name of your company is Better & Co. What is the significance of the word better?
In the world of stage 4 cancer, which is what my husband and I are navigating at this time, I saw a lot of stuff that was for early stage cancer or curable cancer. I just wanted to create something that was really all encompassing, that it's like we're just striving not only to feel better, to hopefully get better, but just to navigate the world of cancer better without it having to be like I checked it off. It was like, this is an active thing that we are navigating, and it's something that we can pursue, but it doesn't have to be either like survivorship or not.
A little bit more about improvement and just movement rather than a definitive end.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. It seems like finding the positivity in progress over perfection.
It's also something that I pursued and definitely had to navigate as a caregiver, because at the beginning, I had this like idea in my head that I had to be the perfect caregiver. I had to be there 1,000%, put all of my needs aside. And it was one of those things that I burnt myself out really quickly. And I got sick a couple months in because I was burning the candle at both ends. I had made myself sick trying to help so deeply that then I couldn't help Tommy because he was on chemo. He was immunocompromised. It is progress over perfection.
You recently launched a new book called Better Together. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the book?
Something that I've learned through meeting the cancer community and getting involved in different groups is that there is no one cancer experience. There's no one right way to navigate treatment or survivorship or surgeries, or there are so many routes that you can take. And so I was like, what would it look like if I somehow tried to incorporate that idea, that it would be a resource guide? But I knew that if it was just told from my perspective, it would be telling one chapter of a story. I wanted to have as many perspectives as possible to make it a well-rounded resource.
Are there some specific lessons or stories from the book that you carry with you?
One particularly that Mindy posted or shared with us in the book, her and her husband were planning on this date night, and they were going to get all dressed up and like go out to their favorite restaurant. And they found out that day that she had cancer. And instead of canceling it and kind of sinking into what a diagnosis means, they decided, you know what, we're going to get dressed up. We're going to go out to that restaurant and we're going to enjoy the hell out of it. And I just found like that's so powerful. And there's so many of those stories of positivity, but in a way that's real.
Yeah, I love that is one of the stories that you carry with you, because that mindset it kind of perfectly encapsulates your personality, if you ask me. Kaylee and I mentioned that earlier.
Now, we would love to ask you a couple of questions from some of our Instagram followers.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. First question comes from Sarah Oelke, and she writes, my friend was recently diagnosed with cancer and I want to be there for her, but I have this fear of saying the wrong thing.
I mean, we have received so many messages over the last couple of years, and so many letters and cards, and every one of them has been appreciated. So don't worry about saying the wrong thing. Yeah, I would just say don't not send something for fear of saying the wrong thing. I think that's where we all get stuck. I would also say be that person who can listen to the hard stuff, because that's something that I know is really difficult. Like being that person who can listen, really listen, and just let them speak what they're going through in full. You don't have to have any advice at all. Just giving them that space, holding that space for them to share is absolutely so powerful.
Yeah, just to be heard can be the greatest gift sometimes. Our next question is coming from our follower, Taylor Killstrom, who asks, any advice on what to bring or be prepared with for the first oncology appointment as the primary caregiver?
Have something to write on. You are going to be given so much news that's like, I've so many times I've entered the office with a list of questions in my head, but then they drop this news on us or we hear something we weren't expecting and all of my questions go out of my head. Come in with a list of your questions.
Yes. Jessica, it was such a pleasure chatting with you today. Thank you for all of your hard work in the caregiving community.
Yes,
Thank you. Thanks, Kaylee and Allison. It's been wonderful. I really appreciate you guys having me here.